Hi, Dr. Andrea Maxim, naturopathic doctor here and the creator of the Maxim movement. And today we're going to talk about why it is so easy for men to lose weight and it's so damn difficult for women to lose weight. Now, as I've mentioned in other videos, predominantly I treat women. I would say 95% of my practice is women. When I put my men and women patients through the exact same detoxification protocol or the exact same 90-day transformation program, the men always beat out the women. Now, there's a few major reasons why this can happen. For men, typically you're born more metabolically active. You have more lean muscle mass, and the more lean muscle mass you have on your frame, the faster you're going to burn calories, even while you're sitting on your butt. For women, of course, just like everything else, we're a much more complicated breed. And the biggest areas that we always have to be looking at with you ladies is what deficiencies is it that you have that we need to be treating. Now, if you're a patient of mine, you know, basically on the first visit, I'm going to ask for updated blood work. And the reason why it's so important to get updated blood work is because that can give us some really easy places to start when it comes to figuring out what your body needs in order to achieve those results that you want. So the biggest and the simplest places we need to look at are iron, B12, and folic acid levels. And all of these can be done with your medical doctor with blood work. Now, a common thread that a lot of my patients will have is, I need more energy, I want to lose more weight. Now, if there's a deficiency in any one of those three items, iron, B12, or folic acid, then no matter how hard you train, no matter how well you're eating, it's not going to work. The reason is because these three ingredients are what help to create perfectly healthy red blood cells. Now, why is that so important? Your red blood cells are very important for circulation. They're very important for delivering nutrients. That's your bloodstream. But most importantly, the middle of your red blood cell, which is where iron sits, is where oxygen likes to kind of attach itself to. And if there's no iron in the red blood cell, then there's no oxygen in your red blood cells either. So if your goal is to burn more fat, what the process is that your body goes through is something called fat oxidation. And just by the very nature of that name, you need to have oxygen in order to do that. No oxygen, no fat burning. So this is a reason why especially ferritin and iron levels need to be adequate and they need to be at a high level. My favorite place for it to be functionally is 75 units or higher. So most of my women are sitting at 5, 10, or 20. This is not a good place to be. You need to increase it. B12, same sort of thing. It helps to create healthy red blood cells. It helps to create that integrity, and it helps with your nervous system. And it's a major source of energy for the body too. My favorite level for B12 is typically around 400, 500, or higher. Again, most of my patients are sitting at 150 or 250, a little bit too low for me to see the results that I want. So what are some reasons why these deficiencies can happen? The reason why I'm talking to you ladies and not the men is because we have one thing in common, is that we have a menstrual cycle every single month. So sometimes, depending on how heavy the flow, we can lose a lot more blood than we'd like to every single month. The other reason being is we're just not eating enough. Now, red meat and animal products is probably the best source of iron and B12 that you can get from food. And the reason why is because it delivers something called heme iron. Heme iron absorbs about 80 to 90% better than plant-based iron, which is called non-heme iron. So for those vegetarians and vegans that are watching, you basically have to supplement with an iron and B12 every single day, regardless of how complete your diet is, because you're just not getting the absorption that you need. Now, one thing that both men and women have in common is that while you're exercising, especially runners, is you're actually causing damage to those red blood cells. So think about it. Every time your foot pounds the pavement, you are causing destruction of the red blood cells that are feeding your toes and feet and heels. And that destruction can also cause iron, B12, and folic acid levels to get depleted. So get the updated blood work. Make sure they're at the functional range. If not, you have to supplement with any of those nutrients for a minimum of 3 months. The reason being is because your red blood cells, their lifespan is 3 months at a time. So we want to kill off all the deficient red blood cells and then keep feeding. So every new cycle, we're getting fresh, beautiful, healthy red blood cells full of oxygen for that fat oxidation that we want and to give you the energy that you need. Questions, comments, please post them in the video below. Contact me on my website. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Andrea Maxim. This is your tip for the week, and I will see you next time.